Welcome back to the Musicians Talk Show podcast. It is episode number 110. I'm one of your two co-hosts for the day, Dallas Dwight.
And I'm Matt Solly.
And it is, we're still quarantined.
Still quarantined. Same situation as before.
No change.
I moved to a different room.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you're in a totally different
I'm in like a space prism thing. I don't know. It looks cool though.
Yeah. I like it.
I figured it's easy to whip out the green screen for one person. It's much harder for two.
We have to spread.
Since it's just me over here, I just figured I'd clean up the background and so you guys aren't looking at the messy room. Instead, you're looking at, I don't know, something looks like came out of the Avengers.
I think that's what we should do with our next Patreon money, and we should maybe buy another green screen so that we have two of them. Would that solve our issue?
That would be awesome.
If we could triangulate ourselves like two green screens behind us.
Well, we could just sit like much further apart, you know, or even facing each other. At that point,
well, goals.
We can do lots of cool stuff, and the green screen I have is amazing and not very expensive.
Right,
it's the best green screen I've ever found, and I've used probably 7 of them over the years.
Right. Yeah, I've tried a lot of them. You tried the back of the chair one and all the
back of the chair one.
Sent that one right
such
back,
a good idea in principle. It just didn't work because what happened was, and it might have been the chair I was using too. It might actually work with this chair, but for the chair I was using, it was really wide. So what happened is it ended up leaning way back, and it just also wasn't big enough. I would have been able to capture like my chin to my forehead, properly. Everything else you would have started to see the edges come in.
With green screens, I think it's better to have more. I think you want more.
Yeah, you have to have more. Eventually, I mean, the best thing to do is just paint a room green and get in there with lights and all that stuff.
Why not? Yeah, just to make a room like a closet and just paint it green and give it really good lights. You have to have good lighting in there.
Yeah, because technically you need to be lighting the green screen really well, as well as the subject. So.
Well, you could optimize it for green screen usage. Whatever the best lighting would be, put it all on one wall. And then you're sitting on the other side of the, there's no, I don't know.
Exactly. Well, I'm doing all these videos for my personal YouTube channel, and I have this system set up, dialed in really well for me. But when I bring in another person, that's where it starts to get crazy. So,
right. Exactly.
Haven't been able to successfully do 2 people yet.
Hey, we'll get another screen down the road. I have a feeling we can make it happen. I like doing this video now, though. I really isn't that much of a, unencumberment or whatever you call it. I don't know. Not much more work.
Yeah,
it worked out.
Yeah, it's easy.
We switched right at the right time because being quarantined, we really have the right setup now to be able to handle that. So that's good.
Yeah, this is a really good opportunity for people to get good at remote stuff,
Right. Explore your options as far as that stuff goes, and like you guys are now, LA Maybe's completely transition to virtual practices. Fucking great, that you guys can all do that. We've talked about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, and that's a good thing to talk about in a little bit. I think one of the things people might be, I think a lot of people, maybe particularly older people, were worried like, I don't want to learn Zoom, I don't want to learn Skype, I don't want to mess with that, so I'm not going to worry about remote stuff, commuting to work. I'll just go into work, it's fine. But now they have no choice. So I think when this all settles down, I think we're going to see a lot of companies say, all right, we're fully remote now. We've seen a lot of companies, particularly like good startups and stuff, are already all remote. And I for the life of me, I can't imagine why companies aren't more remote.
Well, I mean, I wonder that it's going to kill a lot of jobs. Think about all the maintenance jobs, people like taking care of offices, all that kind of stuff. There seems to be like a lot of jobs you're going to kill if you just kill offices altogether.
That's a good point, but
this is times that we can do that now. It's like it's a huge cost that we can cut.
Yeah, think about all the money that's spent maintaining a brick and mortar location.
All the space.
Immediately cut all that. Everyone works from home. Now imagine all of the carbon emissions you've saved, all of the car maintenance and gas costs you've saved for your employees, the time you save for you, the employer. It just seems like it's a win-win-win-win-win situation, and I don't understand why this decision hasn't been made earlier.
I think it has to be because of the cost that they're going to have to kill. I think so. So
I don't know. I hope we see a lot of people stay remote after this.
Yeah.
Safer. I think you'd see a big reduction in car accidents. You'd see and car deaths. You would see what else? What are some other benefits? Some hidden benefits you wouldn't think about.
I mean, just how about like the green situation? You know, like going green and everything like that, just killing the pollution that we're having going from job to job. You know what I mean? Like all kinds of things. I don't know, but there's some jobs that are dependent on being out and about. So there are still going to be like construction. There's going to be all kinds of other things. So
there'll always be that. Yeah, but
yeah,
there's so many jobs that could be remote that should be.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. I don't know, man. Like in music itself, we've seen it take such a huge, turn just for so many people streaming now. So many people just sharing their world online instead of doing it live and in person. It's just forced us to have to do it. Now you can already just see how it could be eventually. I don't know. I personally like music live and in person. Thoughts? What are your thoughts on music going into a more digital realm? Is it going to be satisfying enough for you? I wondered that.
Yeah, I've always liked that. I mean, I've always thought that was fine.
Yeah,
I don't go see a ton of live music anyway. So
right,
it's just paying the admission, parking, getting there, like all that stuff. I just don't want to mess with that. Especially like driving to some shitty club in Charlotte, parking a half mile away, like walking through like the warehouse district to get there. Like I'm not into that. And then I go see a band that sucks.
Kind of person.
And like, it's sweaty, it's hot. Like I can't do it.
If the band sucks, it really does makes it hard to bear, So I always preach that everybody should be putting on their best show and making sure that people are getting their money's worth coming out. Cause I think that's the last thing on a lot of bands' mind, that if people are getting their money's worth, they're just like, we're going to play our set. If they don't like it, they can suck it. That's one way to look at it. And that's honest or whatever, I guess. But
but the problem is very few bands that have that attitude are actually good.
Exactly. Well, that they don't have the aspiration to be good if they're thinking that way.
Your brain is already messed up. There's that old saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that is a really powerful statement. If you're cutting corners, taking out the trash, odds are you're cutting corners doing every part of your life.
Oh yeah. That's why you see people who have constant problems and just keep having problems. Man, if they could just get it, they can figure out the formula to how you do well at something, because there's a formula. It's not necessarily like you can write it down, but there is definitely like a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things you could write down about it.
It's really not that difficult though. I think it's hard work plus time. That's
exactly.
That's pretty much it
though. But I mean, if you break it down in more, obviously that is it. Yes, the overall concept. But if you break it down into how you live your life, like how do you wake up? What do you do when you wake up? What is your first thought? What's your next thought? What's your process? What's your thinking? What are you putting your energy into? How much time are you wasting on your phone? Like all that. You have to like kind of consider all that. And it's hard to break it down from yourself. Like you have to go outside of your body, look at yourself and go, look at how I'm spending my time. Right. Is that going to get me to where I want to go? That's kind of like an overall look at it. You have to conceptualize it. You have to realize what is going to get you to where you want to be, instead of just wishing you were there. Yeah, now, if you're wishing you were there and also taking steps to get there, that's great. That's what you want.
You got to have that vision. But just sitting around thinking it doesn't really help.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this just a little while ago. Actually, daydreaming, like if it could be productive, it could be productive, but it could also be detrimental to some people.
Well, it has to be followed up by action. That's the only thing.
Exactly. So
daydreaming is probably great, but you gotta follow it up with action.
Yeah, but I think I've heard the closed-minded thought that like, oh, he's just a daydreamer. Like, well, as long as he's, I guess maybe just a daydreamer would be the bad.
Yeah, but anyone you know the name of that's famous and successful has been a daydreamer at one point.
Yeah,
and they've all heard that from people. So
it's true.
I mean, think about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, for example.
Right. But they were doers too, man. That's the thing. You got to get out and do it too.
Yeah. That's
Drum
true.
stool's not the most comfortable chair. Notes for next time.
So let's talk about that remote rehearsal. We call it remote rehearsal. It's probably not exactly what you're thinking. What we do is we use it more as an accountability tool to make, because we're in the middle of learning some new songs. So we're not, practicing originals or anything. We are writing, which we'll get into in a bit. But
right.
We basically just record ourselves playing videos, or we record videos of ourselves playing to the songs to show everyone else, like, hey, here's Dallas playing Lights by Journey. I got it, guys. Right. I did my job. Show me yours. Let's all make sure we're doing our jobs.
Sure, and making sure that it is what we're expecting. You know, everybody's doing the part that they're expecting. Not, oh, what are you doing right there on that little fill?
Yeah, exactly. There's been a lot of
this,
productive talk, like, hey, particularly for Josh, because there's a few songs that don't have keys. So he was like, what do I need to do? And I was like, just do your best. And he sends in stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is a really good start. What if we did this here? What if we did this here? That kind of thing.
Right. So then there you go. That's especially helpful because then he can make sure he can get assurance that he's playing something that you guys are going to be happy with that goes with the rest of the idea.
Yep.
Great. That's awesome.
He's starting to he's starting to get a really good sense for what we want. Yeah. Which means his original ideas are starting to become more like right where we want them the first time. Perfect. Instead of like, having the idea. Long conversations about it. Yeah, like you should hear us on Man in the Box, dude. He's down there on a low organ, just gurr, gurr, gurr. It sounds like John Lord with like through a Marshall amp. It's pretty cool.
Nice. That's cool. So essentially what you're saying is that you can't have a virtual practice as in like when we were saying, earlier that you have virtual practices, not like you're all jamming and everybody hears each other and it's zero latency. That's the issue.
You latency, could do that. You would need to solve the latency problem for sure. Which actually, have you seen the movie The Rocker?
Yes.
They do that. They gloss over it real quick, but you know how they get famous is the naked drummer thing goes viral because
naked drummer, right.
Fish doesn't realize he's on video. So what happens is Josh Gad's character, the keyboard player, is like a nerdy tech guy. And for the very first time they call in, he's like, okay, I've written a program that reduces the latency so we can all play together. He says it real quick. He glosses over it, but that's what you would need. You would need something that reduces the latency like that.
Yeah, I think it's a compression algorithm is essentially what they're doing. So that way they have less data to send. Right?
I don't know the science of how it would work.
I don't either. I'm not trying to act smart.
But there are things that you can do. A couple people with Bold have sent me.
Oh no, is my phone dying? I'm gonna have to plug my phone in.
Oh, okay. You want to go do that?
That's all right though.
Pontificate.
Yes. Well.
Uh-oh. Charger's gone.
All right. I'll be right back. Pontificate.
Okay, pontification commence. Well, the company I teach for, Bold Music, was discussing ways we could jam with students. And that's the thing that came up. I can't remember the name of the program, but check it out. I bet we can look it up right here. What should I Google? How to jam in real time virtually. Let's see what comes up. Perfect. I don't want to jam on loops. How do you jam with other musicians online? Are online band practices possible? Sweetwater, I trust them. Let's see what they have to say. Latency, the biggest hurdle. Here's exactly what I was just saying. Let's blow it up nice and big. Matt's cam's in the way. Oh, but that's fine. Welcome back. We're researching latency together. Biggest technological struggle. It doesn't matter how fast your connection is. Yeah, exactly. The time it takes to move the data. Right. Okay, so when you're collaborating over the internet, the more distance, the greater the latency.
Interesting.
So anything below 25 milliseconds, the human ear perceives to be basically no latency. Okay.
Thing.
Okay, 16 milliseconds. Okay, cool.
How far away is it? So is it the wireless signal, or what about a wired connection versus a wireless signal?
Wired's always better.
Would be better. It would be less. It would be more consistent or faster.
No, it's faster always by like a factor of like 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you like, for example, we pay for fiber internet, which is a gigabyte a second, and when I'm Ethernet, I'm pretty close to that. When I'm Wi-Fi, I'm under 200. So I've lost like 80% of my signal on Wi-Fi.
So in our situation using phones, right off the bat, we're fucked because we can't plug in a regular Ethernet cable right to the phone.
For sure. Yeah, you need to be on a computer, definitely.
Computer is the way to go first.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you want to have you want to have the true power of no latency and good wireless stuff or wired stuff, yeah, you have to be on a computer. Okay, cool.
Everybody would need a computer. So that's interesting. So that takes it just the everybody would have to step it up as far as equipment. Everybody would need to be able to have a full computer at home.
Oh, this was posted. That's really funny. This was posted May 25th, 2019. Oh, so here it says, in summary, real-time collaboration is not a substitute for practicing together in person. That said, there are times when it makes sense. Well, I would say we're in one of those times.
Coronavirus, yeah. How about the coronavirus? I think these people knew about the coronavirus, and they were covering it up.
This is a really good. Yeah, we'll circle back to that for sure. This is a really good. This is a really good thing right here. Online practice sessions can also benefit bands whose members live several miles away from one another, allowing them to work out the kinks before commuting to a real world rehearsal. The key, people.
Bingo.
The key that we need to take away from that is band rehearsals are not the time to waste everybody's time. Time is really valuable, and when you waste someone's time, it's just, to me, so disrespectful. Like, by being late, by showing up unprepared, I'm just beside myself angry, whether I show it or not.
That being said, though, having a time set up beforehand to work it out over the phone or work it out over a video conference call is like the perfect way to do that. Like
a pre-rehearsal.
If you are worried that, if you are worried about when you show up to rehearsal that you're going to waste a bunch of people's time because maybe you're not sure how they want you to do something or whatever, just give the person you need to give a call, whoever that is in the band that would know, and get a video conference with them. And you don't need to get the whole band together. You just got to figure out who the person is to bounce your ideas off of, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's a good point. It's just, it doesn't need to be a substitute, but it could be a helping hand to a regular person, even when we get back to it.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you. How should, as the band leader of my band, this is maybe more of just a leadership question. How should I handle, I have several members of the band that haven't submitted stuff that they need to submit to make sure we're all accountable. We all agreed we'd submit videos to stay accountable to learn songs, and I have a couple people that haven't sent in. Somebody hasn't sent any. We're on week 3 of 3. We're on the last week. So I should have 8 videos from everyone. I have well, up to this point, no, we do 4 weeks. 12. I should have 12 from everyone.
Okay.
I have 8 from a couple. Now the final 4 are due today, so no one should have 12 today. I did mine yesterday, so I'm good. But up to this point, we should have 8 from everyone. I have 8 from 2 people. I have 4 from one, and I have 0 from another.
Yeah. So I would say, like, what is the communication like between everybody? Is there any excuses? Like, is there any reason why like this?
There's some excuses. Everyone seems to be having trouble like figuring out how to deliver the videos. What I did, I just uploaded them to YouTube and then just shared the link with everyone.
That's easy
I've had
enough.
people upload them to Google Drive and share that link. I've had people upload them straight to our Dropbox. That's not advisable because it just clogs the whole Dropbox up. But
okay, right.
I've heard I don't have the ability to record myself. So from the person with 0, they don't have the ability to record themselves, is what they say. But it feels like they haven't tried. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like it's not like they said, "Hey, I can't record myself, but let me give you a call this afternoon and we'll talk through it and make sure we're all good to go." None of that. It's just like, "Hey, can't do it." Okay.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like an out. That sounds like they're just looking for an out. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah. A conversation. That's the only thing you can do is like you can talk to them and be like, "Listen, understand this is you putting in no effort to a project that we're all putting effort into. That's not gonna fly. Like you can't. There is no one person gets to sit out. There is none of that. That's not how the band works because all that does is it breeds resentment. Everybody else who looks at it, even if the band leader's not the only one not happy with it, eventually the other band members are like, "Why is this person not doing this? Why it breeds a bad environment." So you just explain that. I mean, that's the only thing you can do is like you have to all put in. Otherwise, it looks like you don't have to do that. That's not the case. Everybody has to put in. For the band to be the best it can be, everybody should be putting in.
Yep.
And what they can. You know what I mean? If you can't contribute in one area, then contribute in another area. You know what I mean? Like
it's more the attitude of like,
sure,
I'm in this, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody else wants to see that, and it helps you bounce that energy off each other. Everybody is in at 100%. That's what you want. Because then, even when somebody else is feeling a little down, something happens in their life that they can't control. There's things that happen, right? If the rest of the band still feels upbeat and positive, is always putting effort into it and, showing that they're in it, then it's still going to make you, it's going to pick you up, even especially when you're around those people. So,
yeah,
it's important to be all in.
Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is I hear a lot of conversation about how can we do concerts? How can we do this? How can we do that? It's all output to fans, which is good. But I have not been doing that with my band. We've been focusing on trying to make more creative progress. So when all this blows over, we'll hopefully be busting down the gates with like we literally have 12 new songs in the works, and a lot of them are done. So
nice.
I think people need to learn to just kind of take a break. Like everyone, like this has been such a good opportunity to sit back, mute Instagram. Don't worry about, I have to post and promote this. I have to get a live concert.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about any of that. Sit back, work on some music, write new music. Let this blow over. People aren't worried about you anyway. They're worried about their family. They don't give a shit about
There's
your
a lot
fucking
of
live
other things
stream.
on people's
Like, they
mind.
don't.
Yeah.
They're worried about putting food on their table because they lost their job. So sit back, stop pushing yourself onto people. Use this time to work on your band, work on yourself, get all that stuff ready. So when it blows over, you can come out running. That's my thought.
That's a really
and
good
that's what
point.
I'm trying to do.
It's a really good point. The only thing I would mention that should be in addition to all that, because I'm 100% agree with you, and I'm in the same pathway myself. But I would say that I wish I was better right now at just having something to post. Obviously, I've been busy and I've been like working on new material, stuff like that. Same as you guys. That's the route I took. If I'm not going to do like some kind of entertainment thing to give to the crowd right away, to give to our fans right away, then I'm not going to waste my time on it. I'm going to work on getting creative and putting my efforts towards the next, thing that we're going to release, which is what, you guys are saying you're doing, and that's what we're doing. But I think I wished I would have remained a little bit more present in social media, not too present, not like promoting your stuff or anything like that, but just remember that we're here, you know what I mean? And post a picture here or there or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've gone pretty radio silent, which at this point at this point it'd feel weird to break that silence, I think. So I think we're just gonna stay quiet until it blows over, and then we'll come back. But
sure, and that's a good approach. There's nothing wrong with that approach. I think I've seen a lot of bands do that. I mean, like,
I think people are too scared to do that. They're like you said, like, oh, remember we're here. That's good. You want, and we probably will be forgotten by some people, but that's fine. We'll make up for it later. In the long run, this will not be an issue for us, I don't think.
It's true. Actually, taking some silence is a good thing too, especially if you've been like super present. You know what I mean? I think every once in a while a good break is fine. I mean, I follow tons of bands that do that, like major label bands that'll be radio silent, and all of a sudden it'll be a post every day, 2 posts a day, and just crazy like active. And I imagine that's just the way it goes, cycles of posts.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's just kind of taken for granted or taken as the way it should be or the way it is now, because everybody does it, even people's personal. So everybody can relate. It's not something that anybody holds against a major account. You know what I noticed? Actually, the bigger bands don't ever post. They don't have to worry about it. They're never. The only thing they post is when they're coming out with something new.
And their shows and tours and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
exactly.
So it's interesting how their approach is complete sales. Don't worry about any like trying to keep people entertained or keep people.
Yeah,
just
social media
intrigued.
has no rules really. At least not that we've established.
Well, it's what works for them, because there's a different, like Metallica. Let's just take like a giant band like Metallica. The only thing they post every once in a while, they'll post like when it's one of the members' birthday. The only thing other than that is tour dates. And when they're releasing new, like a live disc or whatever, they're whatever's coming
and
up
you'll
new,
see like San Francisco, you were great with like the picture of the set list. We'll see you tomorrow,
you see
Sacramento or whatever. It's like
Well, that's cool. That gives a little back to the people who went to the show and they're like following on Instagram and they see that they're So that's good, I guess.
Yeah, but you don't have to, because the goal of social media engagement is to grow your following. And when you already have all the people following you, you're not so much worried about that.
Yeah, exactly. Metallica's not worried about people becoming aware.
We got to reach more people. Yeah, everyone knows who Metallica is. We've done it.
Remember what Lars says in that video? He says something like, he goes, I found out the other day that the Black Album still sells this many albums or whatever per month. And I'm like, who's buying it? It's like, who hasn't heard it yet? Like, are you serious? It's like, I guess people like,
That's a good point.
Replacing their old one. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
like,
but what percentage? Let's say it's 10,000 a week or a month or whatever, which is conservative.
Right. It was something astronomical, dude. It was like, what? That's still like a lot of CD.
But let's say it's 10,000 a month. How many of those would be someone replacing their album?
Yeah, I think
it couldn't be more than like 10.
Like I remember like knowing about Metallica for a long time, and you hear the Black Album on the radio so much. Like several of those songs are on the radio. So it's always in your mind, kind of. And I guess I bought the CD just because I was at the store and I didn't have the CD in my car or whatever in that collection. So I've definitely like bought CDs that I know that that I've known forever. I know every word.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, and it's not like I rebought that CD. I don't think I ever bought it to begin with. But it's just interesting. I don't know.
It would be interesting. So imagine the 10,000 as a pie chart. When the album first came out, day one, that pie chart would be 100%, and we're filling it in with reasons why people buy it. That would be 100% because I don't have it. Okay, and then that 100% would go down as the album's out. But now that was 1990, right?
People definitely, So
we're 30 years later. So
now.
What does that pie chart look like? I bet it's a bunch of like 1% slivers. Like everyone has a different reason.
30 years, CDs don't. Think about how long a CD lasts if you're really listening to it. Like 30 years, I mean, I don't know. And I guess you don't listen to a CD like all the time or anything like that, but like just transporting it.
It wouldn't
like,
last 30 years, that's for sure.
It wouldn't.
I burned through the Black Crowes one and it started skipping after one summer.
Right. So if you think about like the fact that the album has only grown in popularity because more people have come attracted to it, just whatever, right? Like obviously it was huge in the beginning. It had a big debut. But there were still more people who didn't hear about it when it debuted, and they still attached to it. People being born, growing up, attached to it. All these people adding to the list. Then those CD, rebuying the CD, like the replacing the CD, kind of makes sense. You're talking about like potentially 300 million Metallica fans out there, and casually every once in a while buying a replacement CD for their CD that's worn out, or maybe they haven't had a CD for years. So remember,
how does that? I definitely think there's people out there buying replacement CDs, but I don't think that's more than half.
And was that a world number?
It,
I wonder if it was a world number that he said. He said because Metallica's a worldwide band. They're not a United States only. They definitely sell a lot of records overseas. And I wonder if that number that he threw out was like, around the world, because that's a huge population.
Oh, definitely. I would assume definitely yes, worldwide.
Yes. So that makes more sense if you think about it that way. It's a big number of population.
That's true.
That we're talking about.
Yeah.
So that works out to be like.
I assume you would have CD collectors who were just buying it because they're adding their collection. I have the entire Guns N' Roses discography, and now I need the entire Metallica discography.
Exactly. Or just imagine being in a Metallica phase and you're just like, fuck, I want a Metallica CD to throw in my car and just leave it in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or whatever, or have a couple of them.
Which feels weird now because of streaming. You could just listen to it, right?
Exactly. You could plug your phone in, no problem. Yeah. Anyways, the $5 bins at Walmart are what used to get me all the time. Because I'd walk in, there's just a plethora of CDs and just all genres, everything. You're just like, man, I'll take that. $5, all right. Go to my car. So that kind of became a thing too, I think. Why? Like, and if you add those numbers to CD sales, technically it's not even the same profit. Like they're making less of a profit on that CD, but there's still a CD sale, right? If they
CDs are interesting because think about the CD, because we have really, I think, two classes of people that listen to music. You have the people like me who just want to listen to the music. We don't really care about the quality. We can't hear a perceivable difference in quality, so we're fine with streaming. Then you have the people like Henry Rollins who are obsessed with quality, and what do? They do vinyl. So CD doesn't belong in either one of those camps. It's the worst of both worlds. So
exactly.
it's completely obsolete.
The best thing the CD has going for it, which is where it gets its name, is compact disc. So the idea behind them was we're small, hold 1 million of them in your fucking car.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is it's becoming so obsolete so fast that if you have any kind of a newer car, you might not even have a CD player. And if you have any kind of an older car, like my old RAV4 that I totaled, the CD player didn't work.
The same principle's playing out though, right? Because the only thing the digital or the MP3 has on the CD is that it's more compact. I mean, you can put 1 million of them in a fucking little SD drive, which nowadays you see USB drives in the front of CD players. You see, I've seen SD card slots in the front of CD player. Yes, like
interesting.
A head unit for your car.
Like a USB, you mean, or SD?
Yeah. Plus, I've seen SD and I've seen USB, so you could put a thumb drive in there, or you could put an SD card in there. And obviously, we've all seen the auxiliary cables that you just plug an auxiliary cable into your phone, stream whatever you want, your data plan or whatever.
Now you have Bluetooth,
saved on
which solves everybody's problem.
Bluetooth.
My car has.
I don't recommend Bluetooth, man. I think that quality is noticeable because I think
I've never had a problem with my Bluetooth. My Bluetooth is pretty damn good. Now the one thing it does have is really noticeable latency, so you can't watch a video. It's like a second off. Like it's way off.
See, and that's where I think you're losing quality too. Like I've had cutouts happen. Like what the hell is this? Like
I've never had that.
And I realize it's well, it could be like a cheaper Bluetooth headset that I was using. Who knows? Or earlier Bluetooth. I don't know.
I'm talking about Bluetooth to my car.
Right. Yeah, I don't have that, and I think that's probably a less less people have that. It's got to be like newer cars. What year cars?
No,
yours?
well, my car's a 2016, but my old RAV4
Okay.
was a 2010, and it did not have it. But the one like right after it, like 2011, had it. So it's been around for a long time.
Oh, okay. Well, I wonder the quality. You know, I'd be interested in knowing like how much better it's gotten.
Yeah, the quality of my car is like,
like
again, not any
2.0.
more noticeable than an MP3 versus a Wave. Like it's the same kind of thing to me.
Oh, good to know. I don't know. The headset that I had was shit, and I gave up on.
Oh, I also have no problem with my AirPods. Yeah, those are fine.
Oh, and those I've heard are really good. So yeah, I'd like to check those out actually before I make my decision on Bluetooth altogether. I bet it was the shitty ones that I had probably just not that great a receiver.
That could be true.
So, anyways, so yeah, the technology. How do we get off on the Bluetooth stuff?
Just talking about CDs. So really, you have convenience versus quality, and convenience seems to win every time.
Oh yeah. Every time. I mean, according to the car makers, I mean, if you look at the way they've changed their approach, it's convenience over quality.
Yeah.
Musicians who take a lot of pride in music and really enjoy the more nuanced details in music. And you know, their favorite artists. You can there's a lot of things you can hear. Like when you text me sometimes, like we're talking about, like, oh yeah, this is Slash yelling in that one little clip of the Guns N' Roses live thing or whatever. And you know, like that's the kind of details that we like. We like to know that kind of thing, and that's obviously coming from a video. But there's stuff like that you can get out of listening to high quality audio too. Like
that's true.
Little like breaths, you know, like that kind of thing. And that's the kind of stuff that's gonna go. Like you're gonna lose that as you get a lower quality file. You're gonna lose.
Yeah, but I think I agree. But I think the quality would have to go so far down to hit that threshold that you're saying that even a normal person will be like, all right, this just sucks. Like. Because we've all heard stuff on YouTube where someone uploads a song that has been so poor, like LimeWire or something back in the day, where you download it and it's just like you can't even hear it. Like it's like 64-bit or like 64 kbps instead of, or mbps. What am I saying? Instead of like 320 or whatever.
Right. The you sure it's not kbps? Because it sounds.
I honestly don't remember. I said both, and now I can't remember which one it is.
I think it'd be K on audio, and it'd be M in video.
MP3
megabits per
320. Let's see what it is.
Kilobytes.
kbps. Yeah.
Okay. So anyways.
Oh, so I had it right the first time. Okay, yeah, but so you can do like 128 is pretty widely accepted. 320 is the top, at least the top, like most common.
And that's arguably what they say is overly, you know, too much. Doing too much there at that point. Nobody can hear it.
Which one?
But the 32.
No, 320 is the max. That's like the highest quality MP3.
Right, and they say that's too much, right? Don't they say that that's like unperceivable? You can't tell the difference between that and 128, or am I wrong?
I don't know if they say that, but 128 is pretty widely accepted, and it's half the size roughly.
Okay,
but 320 is like, you know, top quality MP3, but you can go all the way down to like 8.
Oh, you know what? I'm confused. I'm confusing that with recording quality on the DAW. You know what I mean?
Like sample rates and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can take that MP3 quality down to like 8. So next time, if you're a producer or you have Pro Tools or something, export whatever you're working in with the lowest quality MP3,
right?
Like 8, 16, 64, whatever it is, and listen to it, and you'll hear what I'm saying. That kind of thing is obviously very noticeable, and any human would be like, that's poor quality. But any human would not say that about 128 or definitely 320.
What is 8-bit? Is that what exactly is it? Is it just like taking out the amount of like notes that you can hear, or is it like taking frequencies out?
I don't know exactly how 8-bit works, because I have personally never given a shit about that. I always thought it sounded stupid.
Yeah, I would never run.
Some people really love it.
Like video games
I don't
are
like
8-bit. Aren't like video games like 8-bit? Isn't that sound?
Well, like the old school games, they call it 8-bit sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which when you think about like Pokemon,
Avenged Sevenfold even released
Zelda and stuff, like on Game Boy.
Avenged Sevenfold even released a bunch of their songs in 8-bit for a video game apparently that they did on a Game Boy or something. I don't really know. I'm not too much into gaming, but I thought that was interesting that they released it in 8-bit, their songs. And I'm sure everything had to be remixed and reworked for that to work, right? Like to sound what you want it to sound like, right?
I have no clue. I've never messed with 8-bit.
Interesting because I guess it is somewhat of an art form, call it. I mean, it's
definitely something for sure. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm pretty sure it was just because of the limitations at the time that's what it ended up sounding like.
Right. But now it's kind of like somewhere where people like, I don't know, like nostalgic maybe.
Yeah,
they just go back
nostalgia, and it's a style. It's also called chip tune. You can hear it called that.
Yeah. Yep, I've heard it called that. That's interesting. Interesting route to go in a time like this, and that just goes to show you that like the vinyl craze and all the different types of things, the streaming, and all the different ways you can get your music is all kind of just preference, right? It's all just like what you're okay with, what you want to listen to.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and as the
Like
internet takes over, which it obviously has, we start to see more people with more taste because they're exposed to more. So instead of
Right.
having 100,000 rock fans, you now have 10,000 hard rock fans, 10,000 indie rock
Right.
fans, 10,000, and they
Right.
don't necessarily overlap. So in the past they would overlap,
to
but
narrow in. Yeah, the ability to narrow in on what you want is always there. There's always some band that is your niche exactly. So many options now. So that's just it's a good thing for a fan. It's not so much a good thing for trying to get a lot of people excited about one band because there's so many other bands to occupy your attention as well. So this is, it's interesting. It's all changing because of the amount of musicians are out there and the ability that we have now to do it on our own. That whole thing has changed, But obviously now we're not sucking some record company's dick to try and get, please give me a recording session, please.
Right,
I'll do anything. And then now we're not doing that, but all we want now is for somebody to see it. That's what the musician's plight is these days. I would say it's shifted
yeah, for sure.
to now just trying to be heard.
And talking about shifting, to segue here, we were talking a little bit about long-term implications of the coronavirus and this quarantine and how it's changing society. Has anything come to your mind about, I mean, we've talked a little bit about it last week, but have you given it any more thought as to like, I don't think life will ever go back to what it was, but I also don't think that's a bad thing. I think we will come out of this, the other side, a better and leaner society, and we'll try to, make better decisions from there. That's what I think personally. Now, who knows?
Yeah. So are you talking about the long-term implications on music or just in general?
Either or.
Okay, because I could talk on both of them, but the musician, I think that the longer we stay in this period, in this time of whatever this is, this quarantine, this lockdown, then we'll get better at doing this. Basically, what we talked about last week, it's playing out. You can see it happen. Already now it's become, there's more higher quality videos showing up and more like actual solutions to this. And obviously it took time to procure these videos and stuff like that. So, like understandably, like you're not going to be ready to go right out of the gate, But so they're just coming up and that's good. It's good to see that. But I mean, that's also going to make it more enjoyable for the fan. And then they could see this as a long thing and then be like, oh, remember when you guys used to do those videos? Why don't we do those anymore? I don't really want to go out. I just want to stay at home and watch it on computer.
Yeah.
I see it. I could see that being a more favorable thing for people that are worried about going for whatever reason. They might not be worried about going out for coronavirus, but maybe they're worried about another thing. And then they go, well, I wish I didn't have to go out. Oh, yeah, I don't have to go out because I remember when we did the coronavirus.
Or again, remember convenience versus quality. Convenience typically wins historically.
Just
over
that
time.
alone. Just that alone is enough to really get
there's been
towards technology.
There's been times growing up, even when I was younger, we used to go to Clemson football games all the time. And there were plenty of weekends where my dad would be like, you know what? I don't feel like doing all the other stuff. We'll just watch it on TV. I don't feel like driving up there, getting parking, paying for this, paying for that, finding a place to stay, all that stuff,
Yeah. And a concert can be similar, especially if you're going long distance. You kind of, if you're going long distance, you have to get a hotel and all that stuff. If you're going, short distance and you have to, at least figure out what your plans are for that night. You had a lot of things to take care of. I like to Uber to shows.
That makes it better. And one thing we did, we saw Chris D'Elia when he came to Charlotte, and we drove to the Playroom, parked at the Playroom, and then Ubered there and Ubered back. Perfect. That was a great plan because we didn't have to Uber all the way from home, which would have been crazy expensive. But
it's essentially right on the same street. I mean, if it's not like a couple blocks over, so perfect.
Yeah, it was really close, and it was so nice. We just walked right. We had to wait for a while at the end for it because it was packed, obviously. But we got there super early. It was cool. Yeah, it was cool. But even that was like as fun as that was, it was still just like I'd be happier just watching the special at home,
Yeah, dude, I've said it before. Like watching a live show on YouTube, like it's professionally shot, is way more entertaining. Like you get close up and stuff like that. Listening is the part that loses me.
Right, you definitely lose some stuff listening. You can still get a lot of it, but you lose some stuff.
You get the vibe. Yeah. And seeing them do it is helpful too in getting the vibe. Watching them watching them play the guitar.
That's true.
Something about it.
Now, speaking of comedy, did you see Louis C.K. dropped his special yesterday?
I did not. That's cool. That's cool as hell. Is this the first one since all the shit?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I bought it immediately and watched
I gotta check it. Yeah, I gotta check it out. Was it good?
It was really good. Yeah. I've always loved Louis. He's always been one of my favorites.
Would you give it 5 Dallas stars?
I would give it 5 Dallas stars. Yeah.
All right, nice.
But also, have you seen Bert's and Tom's, and then Chris's is coming out soon?
I watched Tom's. You know what? I think I only caught the beginning of Tom's. Man, I've been like so kind of weird. My schedule is so weird now. I can barely sit down and watch anything. But I watched a little bit of Tom's, and I thought about watching Bert's, and then something came up, and I had to go do something. It's like unbelievable how my schedule is right now. But yes, they are all on my watch list, and I'm going to watch them.
Those 4 must watch. D'Elia's doesn't come out until next week, I think, April 14th.
Oh, nice. Well, that'll be a good one.
But the one he's releasing is the one we saw live. So like when I saw the little clip of him promoting it, I was like, I remember that bit. Like we watched. That's the one bit I remember from the show.
Yeah,
he talks about he talks about airdropping stuff on people's phones and how you can just do it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw the well, don't spoil it for people, Dallas.
Well, this is the ad. I mean, you've probably seen the ad.
Teaser. Yeah, oh, it is in the ad. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I just remembered you telling me the story, but I didn't see.
No. I saw that. I saw the ad of him promoting the special, and it was that bit, and I was like, "Oh, that's the one bit that I really remember from the show."
Nice. I saw Bert Kreischer's Secret Time, and it was the same thing when it came out. It was kind of weird to watch it. I was like, yeah, this is that, and it was funny. I like it was good like reminder of those funny jokes and stuff.
Right.
And dude, my face hurt after those. Like I'm going to see Joey Diaz. Dude, my face literally just hurt so much from smiling and laughing.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah,
that's the best feeling in the world.
Those are the guys. But actually, this is a perfect segue. You said Joey Diaz. I was listening to him on the Rogan podcast, and they were talking about. Rogan said we should move, man. This is a wake up call. We should move to. He wants to move to Colorado, and I saw this funny meme the other day. I cannot remember what it was, but it was like I'll have to find it for you and send it to you or post it or something. But it was making fun of like. A middle-aged white man saying he's moving to Colorado is like the quintessential like midlife crisis.
Yeah, well, in this situation though, it's a little bit more warranted.
Yeah, but obviously they want to. That's what I was talking about though. To circle back about the creative industries could potentially be totally relocating. Because what happens if all the big hitting major comedians, and let's just say they would. I don't think any but a couple would, but let's say they all moved out of LA to another place that they decided. So now all of a sudden that entire comedy hub, which brings with it billions of dollars of business, probably, definitely hundreds of millions, has now moved to a different spot. I mean, that's the agents are going to have to move. The managers are going to have to move. The clubs are going to have to completely change what they do. New clubs are going to pop up in the new spot. New people over in that spot are going to become agents and bookers and all that stuff.
The whole scene could relocate. The whole scene could just pick up and go into a totally different place just because there's a new place that opened up in Colorado and all the comedians want to get out of LA. But putting all the comedians in Colorado, doesn't that just create a surge that everybody's going to want to live there then instead? You know what I mean? And it'll be a big packed house then.
No, because comedy is only a small part of the entire entertainment industry. You still have films, music, YouTube, shorts, all that stuff, web
drawing
stuff.
Tons and tons of people. Right.
Yeah, but we already see, and we already have seen for years, people trying to get out of LA, particularly to shoot. They shot Breaking Bad in New Mexico solely for the tax benefits and the cost benefits. We see tons and tons of film production companies working in Atlanta and around Georgia, and North Carolina has Pinewood Studios up there somewhere near Raleigh, I think maybe, which does like the Hunger Games and tons of huge stuff.
That's a good point.
We've already seen that, I think, and the internet's just making it easier to decentralize. So if living in LA has become such a big problem, and people see now with this virus that cities like New York and LA are a big problem, then I think you're going to see more spread out. Yeah.
And then what does that mean for our age-old question? What is it? Is relocating necessary? We've talked about it so many times. Like what does it mean to pick up and move to a city like LA or move to a city like Nashville or New York or somewhere where music scene is prevalent?
Yeah, I think the answer to that lies solely in your goal. But I think in general, it's less important now than it ever has been. And I think it will continue to be less important, not because of the internet, but because of this virus.
I was just going to say that this right now is a shifting point in that train of thought.
Right.
Like, obviously, if you're stuck in your house, does it really matter where your
house is? Doesn't matter at all.
No, it
doesn't. Exactly.
No. So So if this becomes more of a lifestyle, the way we live our lives, then that age-old question is going to slowly become more and more towards the, no, it doesn't matter at all.
I think you're going to see a surge in preppers after this. You're going to see a surge in germaphobes after this.
Mm-hmm. And a change in the way people prep. I bet a lot of people never even considered this type of attack. If you consider this an attack, or if it becomes
they're
an attack,
stockpiling bullets and guns and stuff, and what does that do for you right now? Like,
well, I'll tell you what, bullets and guns are always going to be important because you go take anybody else's shit if you have bullets and guns. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it past people that they're going to be ruthless if something like that ever does happen. You have all the hand sanitizer, all that toilet paper, and this person has guns. Guess who's going to have all the hand sanitizer and the toilet paper? Person with the guns.
Yeah, but most preppers are prepping for defense, not offense.
Yeah, well, I'm not. Yeah, but I'm just saying that this is what we will be faced with people who are ruthlessly scared. Ruthlessly scared. Hard word to spit out. Anyways,
I saw some sort of quote or something that said a person is intelligent. People are panicky, scared animals.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. That's very true because the herd mentality freaks people out.
It takes over. Yeah, it just takes over. And everybody's stockpiling. Like, they don't even know what they're doing. Like, isn't that weird?
Dude, that's a really good point. Back to what you were saying about the Joey Diaz and Joe Rogan episode. Did you hear what Joey Diaz said about the? He goes, I couldn't believe it. I was at the doctor's office or whatever with my daughter or whatever, and he goes, this guy. We're all social distancing. Everybody's like spread out or whatever. And he goes, this guy comes right up to me and he goes, hey man, I saw you. And he puts his hand out and he goes, what the fuck? He goes, don't put your hand out. He goes, people still want to shake your hands. You know, Joey Diaz always like way over the top and everything. Yeah. But he goes, this guy wanted to shake his hand and he freaked out. He's like, I can't believe you motherfuckers still want to shake our hands. And I was like,
yeah,
right
that's
now,
funny. No, I haven't gotten to that part. I'm still
pandemic.
like in the first 20 minutes of it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Well,
now I'll be looking out for that.
I remember. Yeah. It was just like, I couldn't believe this motherfucker. This cocksucker came over to try to shake my hand. I love it.
There's one weird side effect to this virus and working from home is I'm way behind on my podcasts. I am so far behind. I have probably 50 episodes I've just like got to catch up on.
I'm behind too. I caught that Joey Diaz one. I love Joey Diaz and I just caught a little bit of it one morning. So, but yeah, I'm behind too, man. I'm trying to be productive. I'm trying not to be a slave to the TV. That's so easy to do right now to just want to, just hang out because there's really not much going on.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I'm definitely taking time to do that too, though.
Yeah,
because it's nice to enjoy some chilling when shit's kind of calm, Because I've gone through earlier this year and definitely late last year. I've gone through like 2-3 weeks straight where it's just like shows, work, church, lesson, shows, meeting with this person, just like nonstop for like 3 weeks. So it's nice to take a little bit of time to just relax.
No, absolutely. I'm doing that myself too. Like, but I'm also trying to stay productive. That's the thing is I want to keep in the back of my mind that this is a time, like an opportunity to get some work done too. So, but also keep in mind that you don't get opportunities like this that often. So at least give yourself a little bit of a break. Try and relax and get some good out of it.
Yeah, that's
true. Come back strong when everything opens back up. So it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of balance.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap up with a little bit of band updates. Start with you guys. What are you guys up to? How you been doing? What's new? What's old? How's it all going?
Yeah. Well, we actually got together. We've all been social distancing and holed up in our respective houses. We decided to get together, actually. Just the three of us. We didn't make any stops in between. We got together and did a short little recording session working on those demos. And that was really productive. And I'm glad we did that.
Is it just the three of you working right now?
Yeah, right now at this point. It's just us working on the core songs.
Are you just playing? Oh, it's 4 now.
3 songs, core songs. I said.
Oh, core songs. I thought you said 4.
Yeah.
So are you just playing bass, or are you not even worrying about bass for the demos?
I recorded some bass, just kind of getting that idea, the sense of what the bass could be doing, or like what space it could be filling. So just a little bit of dabbling in the bass. David likes to play bass too, so that's always interesting. He'll pick up the bass and play for a little while. But we've really focused on recording drums for our demos, which right now I've got the basement here and I've got it all kind of converted into a little bit of a recording studio, which is nice. And I only have 4 mics, but made a pretty decent rough recording, for drums. And then I use the rest of the tracks to make the music. And this board, and I always talk about this board all the time, this L12 live track by Zoom. It has drum, basically it's effect. You know how like it has an effect, you can go bring it up, but it has specific drum ones for like a gate reverb, which is nice because that's perfect for close miking drum.
Mm-hmm.
You can, do a gate reverb. And there also has a drum ambience effect. So you just get a room mic on it, and then you put that effect on and it makes it as much room as you want it to sound like. I mean, and it sounds great. I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm gonna have to send you them when I'm almost done. I'm wrapping them up. So when I'm finished with these demos, I'm definitely gonna send them your way and get your thoughts for what I'm able to do. I mean, I've been recording my audio for the show through this board. So I've been just really using this board a lot, and it's been saving me from having to buy a computer I need desperately.
Yep. Yeah, that's good though. You can do it with a board for now. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, it's kind of old school, man. It's like the guys who used to use a tape. You know how you had an A tape and a B tape. Record one thing on the A, and then you after that record the B. You can do that on this, or you can record them all at once. It's got like a lot of really cool features and stuff like that. A lot of monitoring options. You can monitor up to 5 headphones out, plus your main outs. Two main outs section. So it's pretty versatile, man. L12 live track Zoom. I think it was like, I want to say it was $500 when I bought it, which was a few years ago. But it is so versatile for doing podcasts.
I think we might have done a gear review on that when you bought it.
We did.
That would have been like episode like 10.
Yeah, it was like super early, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but if you find a used one out there, if anybody out there is looking to do something like this, like demo your projects or podcast, even whatever you wanted to do, this would be a really affordable way to get into it. I definitely recommend it. I don't know why this turned into a gear spotlight thing. That's what I've been doing. I've been living on this board for the last 2 weeks.
You probably know it pretty good now, though.
I do, and I've learned a lot of little tricks about it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, all those digital boards are chock full of like little secrets and tricks and shortcuts and
they hide
crazy stuff.
Yeah, they hide them. They hide them so that way they're not in your way. But when you need to find them, you have to like hold down this button and open up the secret menu here. And it's like, oh well, there's a whole menu of things right here.
Yeah, I would say I know the X32 pretty well, and I still feel like I only know like 30% of what it does.
That thing is 20 times deeper than this thing. The X32 has so much, dude. Graphic EQ and all that. It's crazy. It's crazy. So versatile. Anyways, what's up with you though? What's going on with your band?
Not a lot. We're doing the virtual rehearsals. We were learning 12 new songs for the variety band, which is a full set. So we will now have, we usually only play 3 sets of roughly 12 songs each. And we're adding another 12. And we have another catalog of probably 5 to 10 that we have and technically know, but we don't really ever play. And there's a few of those we can pull out from time to time. But and then there's a few of those that we've never really played after the first couple shows, so we probably couldn't pull those off. But so we're just thickening the roster. We wanted to add a lot of the reason we're adding the new songs is we wanted to add stuff that Josh could play on, stuff that we didn't need tracks for, and more rock stuff and less pop stuff. So that was the 3 goals we did when we chose the new 12. And we were learning 4 a week for the past 3 weeks, and this week is the final 4. So and they're all due today. So after today, we should technically all of us be ready to play these 12 songs. And then the next 2 weeks, we're learning 5 new Guns songs to add to the GNR set.
Sweet. So double attacking both bands.
Yep, I was learning. And again, same thing. We wanted to add more piano stuff for Josh.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So
perfect.
So we're adding all the big piano ones, and then a couple other fun ones. So
sweet. Well, staying on top of it, man. That's staying productive. You have time.
Oh, we're writing a ton too. I have, like I said earlier, I think I have 10 to 12 songs in varying degrees of completion, not counting the cover, Rubber Band Man, which is almost done. And,
I need to hear that, dude.
We just have so many different things in the works, and it's almost overwhelming. Like I'll have an idea for this one over here, and then I'll be like, oh wait, but this idea over here, and I'm going back and forth between 4 or 5 songs at once. So and then I'll wake up one morning and come up with a new riff. Now I have 13. It's like and another new riff, 14. It's just like, all right, like at some point we got to focus in. Finish some of these. But just decide which ones you're gonna put more time into. Yep.
I feel the same way. I have so many ideas, and I keep going. Like I find myself when I have a new idea and I have to pull myself away from this other thing that I'm working on. I hate that time. I feel guilty about it, but I also know that inspiration comes when it comes. So I always try to make time for inspiration, and I don't just squash it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's going to be what you want to do anyways. If something like that's popping into your head while you're working on something else, that's what you'd rather be doing. You know what I mean? That's what's obviously popping up in your head because you're maybe bored or you're a little bit
that inspiration is trying to tell you something. It's
Right.
usually a good idea to listen.
Yeah, I don't think it's very important not to squash that and go
And
with
even
it.
if that's just pulling out your phone and singing "oh" into your song,
Right.
that's the idea I had. Let me make sure
long.
all I need to do is get down enough so I remember it later when I can actually work on it.
It doesn't take much time at all to just take a second and like sing something in your phone, play it on guitar, whatever you got to do. If it is one of those things where you have to break away from what you're doing, just save where you're at. Whatever you're doing, you can definitely save where you're at. And even if it's like a phone recording, like of what you got so far, you know what I mean? And then you can go do your thing that you're obviously your brain is telling you, like, go check this out, or like, this is really intriguing. So it's interesting, but you got to follow your inspiration. And now's the time. We all have time to do stuff. So.
Yep. I saw a little meme picture thing that said, "What a time to be childless."
Totally. And then
because you see all of the memes and jokes and posts about like, my kids are driving me crazy. What do we do?
The one I like is, yeah. The one I like was
I've never been happier with my life decisions than right now.
Yeah. The one I like was the you don't hear a lot from those people who about the children are the best thing that ever happened to them, whatever. You're not hearing a lot from those people right now. They're all stuck at home with their parents, or with their kids, and regretting every second of it. And then also the one that the guy's like, would you rather stay at home with your wife and kids or B? And he goes, B. He doesn't wait for the answer. It's B. That's what it is. Not A.
Yeah.
Anything
that's
but A.
hilarious.
That's so funny.
Yeah, that
stay at home with your kids.
That me time is so valuable right now.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're cooped up. Like, it's hard to be with a lot of people cooped up. Yep. Finding me time is important. Go out for a jog, go for a hike. You see a lot of hiking pictures on Instagram and Facebook right now, and I get that. I bet that's why.
Yeah, I'm trying not to go outside too much.
Yeah.
I know if that shit gets near me, I'll be the one that gets it. So
staying safe.
Just my luck.
Safe. Yep. All right. Well, let's wrap it up and let's all stay safe out there. What do you think?
Beautiful. Good podcast. Any final points?
No. We're gonna see how this plays out. We'll talk about it on the next episode as another week has played out. See what happens.
Yeah. Do you have any estimation? Do you want to throw any guesses as to when things will start to, or restrictions will start to be reduced as far as staying in and stuff?
I hate to be pessimistic, but I don't think we're at the climax of this yet. I mean, we watched the death toll rise and all that stuff like that. It seems like we got another maybe week or two for that to come up, and then it's going to go down. I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's what I saw. I don't know how they know this, but I was reading some article, and it was like USA Today or something. It was a pretty reputable source, and it said things will start going down after we hit the climax, the pinnacle, whatever you want to call it, and they estimated that would be about 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, which is
2 weeks from when I read it. I don't remember when that was. That was maybe a couple days ago. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything's shut down through April, I think. So
yeah, and I'm out of work till then, so I got time to kill.
Yep.
So work to do.
Work to do. Yeah, stay busy, stay working. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a good week.
All right, peace.